Okay, how do you like this emphasis on the role of multilateralism, and how do you comment on his following suggestions, including strengthen consultation and cooperation between Asia and Europe?
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. Well, first of all, even before commenting, I would like to say also a few words about simply the fact that he's here, because as far as I know, this is the third time that Li Keqiang Premier League is coming to Belgium in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
So that is, well, obviously by itself, you know, a commitment, a demonstration of a commitment to build very close ties and also lasting ties with the region. So that's the first point.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on his commitment specifically for multilateralism, I think everybody should welcome this, move, this commitment, because it is crucial in today's, war, which is strengthened, by protectionism and unilateralism. To have a strong player like China, possibly joining hands with Europe to, make sure that we can save basically the multilateral system and also the world trade system of today.
Yeah. Okay. And he also said in strengthening consultation and cooperation between Asia and Europe. So how do you like this suggestion?
Sure. I mean, as I said, Europe and China within the Euro-Asian bloc are the two most important partners, the biggest players, and of course with power also comes responsibility. So it is in the responsibility of both Europe and China to join efforts to make sure that multilateralism can be sustained. And the actions, of course, to boost cooperation, dialogue, it's pretty much needed. And I think this is also in line with the spirit of the ASEM. So the whole ASEM summit is about eventually finding common goals to solve the common challenges, and today's theme is global partners for global challenges indeed. So it's pretty much in the spirit of the whole gathering.
Yeah, thank you. And second question, how do you like his commitment to working on an open world economy? And what do you think about the balanced manner he suggests in WTO reform, that is promoting a global economic growth and prosperity while protecting the rights and interests of developing countries?
Yeah. So again, multilateralism and world trade, open trade come together, and it's very important that China made this commitment for open trade because there is a fear at the moment that we are actually going toward more protectionism, toward more unilateral actions that are not positive for the world economy. So, for instance, the trade tension existing today, between US and China, it's not just bad for both the countries because there is no winner, but it's also bad for all the players involved. For the world economy as such. So, just like last week, the IMF also, released the outlook of the world economy, and there was a downgrade of 0.2. There was a downgrade up to 3.7% of the growth, which is obviously negative for everybody. And then if you look at the separation, you see the developed world, the contribution of the developing world is much higher. It's 4.7% versus 2.4, I think. So of course it's needed that also the WTO, which is today maybe not perfect organization, but is still the institutions which uphold the current system, needs to also better reflect, I think, the needs and the interests of the developing world, which is where the growth in the future will be, and it's also where most of the population today live.
Thank you. My last question goes into the prospect of connectivity between Europe and Asia. How do you think the prosperity of it, and how do you like this two-way manner, the hard one and the soft one together in promoting connectivity between Europe and Asia?
Yeah, I really like the comment of Premier Li on both, let's say, the hard and the soft aspects of connectivity. Because normally people, when you talk about connectivity, you think about bridges, you think about railways, the hard infrastructure. Then, of course, there is also the energy, pipelines. There is also, of course, very important the digital, networks. but all this is part of what want to say the heart, part of the connectivity, which is very important. And there is a huge gap in the Asian continent, in the Eurasian, especially in the Asian part, to invest more in this. But then the best railway or the best transport maybe connection might be a waste if you do not have also the soft, let's say, connectivity behind it. So that means interoperability, common standards between the different regions to allow that the trade actually can be made, and so that the products can flow from a side to another and can be actually used in the new market.
My last question is, how do you like the alignment between the European way of connectivity and China's Belt and Road Initiative?
This is a very important question, of course, because today, this year is the 5th, if I'm not wrong, anniversary of the announcement of the Belt and Road Initiative, and which everybody, of course, acknowledges is very visionary, is an excellent, very smart plan. On the other side, just recently, this September, the European Union also came with a new plan for its own connectivity. That, of course, many people see, maybe it's a bit of a competition. It's like something similar but different than what China is proposing. To my view, I think there is no really competition, because the two sides really should join hands to make sure that these projects are actually successful. But first of all, there is a huge need for infrastructure investment in the region. The European Union states something like 1.3 trillion US dollars needed per year over decades in Asia, to keep up with growth and also to keep up with the challenges of the climate change. So one country or one region cannot, satisfy these needs. And also, I think both sides have different things that can bring on the table, different, advantages and strengths. So, for instance, the European Union, of course, has been, is successful. Has been very successful in the common market. One common market for goods and services. And so has a lot, to bring on the table in terms of track record of unifying, integrating a market for this. On the other side, China has a lot of capital, but also is very good and fast in implementation of projects. So the two sides together definitely, I think, should cooperate, and this should not be seen as two parallel initiatives which are competing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope it's good, because I'm really not that